Outpatient. This really was relationship focused, and I thought that the two actors in particular did such a great job of creating this dynamic of tension and resentment and anger, and you could feel it throughout the entire film. You were kind of like tensing your stomach the entire time watching. Like there was a discomfort that I definitely felt throughout it, and I think that that's a mark of a really good performance when you can physically affect your audience. I thought it was really well filmed, extremely well performed, and overall a great watch. Really, really great story.
Outpatient. I thought this was really, really interesting. It was really interesting for me to watch because my dad works in chemical dependency, so he runs not programs like this, but similar in the same kind of realm with these kind of outpatient programs and things like that with people that struggle with addiction. And so I've grown up listening to just him talk and things like that. So this was really interesting for me to watch, and I really, really loved the use of silence and the kind of discomfort that they kind of really leaned into, especially in the beginning. Things are really tense, and I think that they leveraged that really, really well between the three of them. The dynamic between the three of them and how they kind of developed that not only as a group but individually as well, I thought was also really well done. And then by the time you get towards the end, you start hearing a little more laughter, you start feeling their comfort even when it is silent between the three of them. It's not as tense as it was at the beginning. There is a little bit more comfort and just familiarity and kind of trust that they've built. And I really loved the kind of seeing the progression of that because that's something that does take time. And I think, like I said, they leveraged the silence really, really well, which is sometimes really hard to do when you're, watching something because you don't just want to have silence, you want it to serve a purpose, and it did absolutely serve a purpose here. So I thought that was really, really, really well done.
Outpatient. This film was really cool, and it was really, really interesting. I think the filmmakers did a fantastic job with their cinematography, all of their shot setups, their lighting, and the way that it was edited, the music that they chose to it. They did it very subtly, where it didn't detract from what was going on the screen. The actors that they chose all did fantastically. Everybody was so genuine and believable. That was great. I know the opening scene, it kind of confused me for a second or two because I wasn't really sure what was going on. But as soon as we hit the second scene, everything became clear. So that was a nice little moment of kind of hooking the audience. I liked that. So yeah, nice job.
Outpatient was very interesting. It's very disjointed how it tells its stories. It basically tells its stories, through experiences and through meeting. We basically see the tale of an ex-addict trying to reform two current addicts, essentially. And it's a very turbulent journey as they're slowly starting to learn to become more comfortable around one another, to accept one another. Just seeing them open up through these stories, it's very interesting. You learn more about who they are as people, how they function, what makes them think, why they did what they thought they had to do. All of those different gears all forming into a full story. It was very interesting seeing it all come together, but I definitely enjoyed my time watching it, learning more about these people.
Outpatient is a very interesting short. I really liked how the main characters behave between each other. It was certainly engaging and dramatic, but at the same time profound, deep. The main characters really share all their problems there. We can see the struggles of the way towards these characters. They trying to redeem themselves after so many struggles they endured in the past, after life in the addiction as addict, but they really still don't want to do. They still don't want to be there. They would rather be somewhere else. They would rather be free. Probably they would, and we can see that they struggle, the difficulties that they have to just trying to adapt to a regular life without drugs. So I think the film was very inspiring, and it was very interesting to see how these characters started and their journey in the film. The character arc from the beginning, how they change it in the end, and how they basically bond together and they became friends. So overall, very well done short, and very deep and very engaging. Congratulations.
All right, I just finished watching Outpatient. I ended up liking this piece. I thought it was quite well done. The production value was very high. There was a good sense of sort of cinematic pacing and construction that I thought really helped give the feel of a sort of grounded, natural concept, a very intimate feeling, while also giving it still a cinematic idea and sort of a visual sense of style and scope that I thought matched the idea of outpatient care, of sort of coming out of rehab, the type of characters that would populate this world. I thought the actors in particular did a really great job of the dynamic between everybody. Excuse me, all three of them, I thought had a good amount of time and space to create depth to each of the characters, and I thought that the dynamic between the three of them had a really interesting progression as you saw them early on, towards the middle, them getting into fights, them sort of resolving issues, them trying to bond through the past of their addictions, and I thought that the piece had a really strong academic understanding of the type of people that would be in this world and the type of personalities that would be in this world that really allowed it to sort of feel authentic and realistic in a way that I thought contributed to why the characters on screen felt endearing and relatable to me, at least. I enjoyed the ending. I enjoyed the style of comedy in the piece, and I thought that there was just a really great combination of physical humor and understated humor through the three characters that I thought worked quite well. So I thought the piece was definitely constructed with a sense of passion and style that I thought contributed to an overall experience that was quite full, even in the relatively short runtime. So I ended up enjoying it.
This was intense, but felt very realistic. You could feel that these guys were going through something as outpatient addicts. Why they are on parole is never really stated. It's probably something they did while they were addicted to whatever they were on. It's never actually explicitly stated whether it was drugs or alcohol or a combination. But they made it feel that that wasn't important to the story. The relationship between these three men is what's important. And that even the vet who's cleaning the church is coming, but he's not really in there because he's an employee, but he needs things too. He needs that outreach. A program like this that it really goes into the you do the crime, you do the time is what they're feeling, because that's what that one guy with the beard is feeling. Was that he's thinking 2 weeks and he's done at the end, and they said probably not. That's up to your PO. It was really well done and impactful. The dialogue felt very realistic to the situation. You could understand why their walls were up and that there's a lot more work to do by the end, but that there is hope for these characters, that they will be able to beat their addictions. They will be able to go forward because they do start opening up. Maybe not as much as the counselor would like, but you could feel that it's coming, which makes it a powerful film.
Outpatient. Well, I thought this story really was told well about relationships in a group counseling situation where the members are not wanting to be there and not wanting to participate, but forced. The actor that played Bo, I thought his mirror scene was terrific. It was high impact emotionally. His character reads the book in therapy, so we know where he's at right off the bat. And I could feel where he was coming from, especially when you see what the character Nathan has to put them through. The fellow that played Marcus really stood out for me. His facial expressions, his eyes, you felt the pain when he's insulted by Bo. And he's very earnest when he's talking to the fellow that plays the custodian, who seems to be like a guardian. That same actor that plays Marcus, his demeanor and style are so much like the actor Jackie Earle Haley, who I so enjoy. And he's probably been told that before, but the similarity is astounding, and I just thought he was really terrific.